Hello everyone, my name is Nexos Floof and it's so great to see you today. You may be wondering why I'm in a hospital bed. Well, it's because I'm getting prepped for surgery. Cali Cup was great, the details of which you will find out now. Roll the intro. Fuck. Fuck. Hold on, I'm gonna use my IV arm. Oh, that's the power of modern medicine, baby.
It's a rare tradition in this day and age to read any good books on the newspapers, babe. In the love and tradition of the grand design, some people say it's even harder to find. Well, inside these gentle walls, because all I see is the tower of you, real love every scene. Days gone by, it's the speaker of love, family. I am going to get a golden ticket this year. This event is the first event in the new ITC season. 3 days, over 250 people have signed up, 8 rounds. All I need to do is go 8-0. We just need to win 8 simple games. I cannot lose a single game. I am holding myself that this weekend I cannot lose a single game. That makes sense? Fantastic. The California Cup. Last year, I was actually able to do quite well in the California Cup, going 6-2, only losing to Andrew Gagno and Anthony Vanilla, winning myself that flag right there, and in the process, securing myself best in faction. This year, I was so confident in my ability that I brought the flag back. I said, you know what? I know Spathos is going to be back. I know that there are going to be people gunning for best in faction GSC. I am going to bring my flag back, and on top of the new one, I'm going to say if anyone can secure best in faction from me, they're going to get this flag. I put it all on the line, and I wanted to make sure that I knew what the stakes were going into this and how important it needed to be and how important I needed to treat it. Great. Do we all know the rules? Do we all know the guidelines? Do we all know the standard I'm holding myself up to? Yes? Great? Great, fantastic. Now, let's begin. To start off, we're going to be talking about the list I brought. I wanted to bring back Swarmhost. I feel like it's been way too long. I feel like I've been playing around with other things. I've been playing around with Final Day a lot. I've been playing around with mid-range a lot. But the thing is that Cali Cup was the birthing grounds of Swarmhost, at least in its beta form, where it first started. So I wanted to bring it back, and I brought it to where it wasn't the full 3x20 of Benny's and the Primus squad as well. I had actually dropped one down, so we're only at 60 neophytes here. But we're going to go through the list real quick, just putting them right here or right here, whichever's more convenient at the time of editing. So we have a Benefactus with Assassination Edict. We have a second Benefactus with no enhancement. We have a Nexos with the Prowling Adjutant. And we have a Primus with a flaw in the armor. We have a Reductus Saboteur, 5 tacos, and we have my favorite part of this list that I really wanted to actually hold myself to. We have 3x5 Flacos and a 10-man with them as well. The 10-man isn't seen as much, which I feel like people think that the 10-man of Flacos is only being brought when you want to bring the demo charges. And I think that's limiting that unit to be too static. I brought it with the 9 hand flamers. One, to be a great Overwatch threat, but also just something that really bangs well with the +1 to wound strat, to where I can have something, maybe I even have the Nexus unit up in the air. I can target that unit and the Flacos, give them +1 to wound, and now I have 9d6 flamers that are probably going to be +1 AP as well, +1 to wound, and twin linked. This is something that can really do a chunk of damage both in shooting and in melee. And it's just a big brick where a lot of the rest of the list we're going to see is actually a little bit more like chip damage. And I felt this needed to be there to just help hit something, right? So moving forward, we have 3 squads of Neophyte hybrids, all with the standard loadout: seismic cannons, mining lasers, grenade launchers, and webbers, and then 12 autoguns as you see it, All of these things have cult icons, even the 5-mans, even the tacos. So, to the Ridge Runners, I went with something a little funny here. I went all with mortars, 3 solo Ridge Runners with mortars, and I went 1 with the Survey Auger and 2 with the Spotters. The reason being is that I felt with Eldar being so prevalent in the meta right now, I really wanted to be able to do a lot of indirect damage, and the Spotters are just going to help me to where I can tag something with indirect and then hit them with the Spotters. As well, with the amount of flamers I had in this list, I didn't really need to strip cover that much. It was only for the 2 neophyte squads that were going to be down the most. The Primus unit was always going to be flickering up and down. I just didn't need 2 sources of takeaway indirect or takeaway cover. Now, moving forward, we have 3 squads of Adelan Jackals, 1 mining laser, 1 grenade launcher, 2 power weapons, all that fun stuff, and then 3x5 squads of Pure Strain Gene Stealers. A lot of trash, just so much little stuff here that really ended up helping in the effectively kind of mirror matches between other deep striking armies or just armies that wanted to take up board space. I was just able to say, great, you're going to be coming in on your deployment zone. It allowed me to have a very aggressive turn 1, which with the lack of catch-up mechanics right now, if you're able to start off a very strong start and really punish your opponent in the early games, it's much harder for them to come back at the end. You're able to effectively calculate out how much you need to win by in the later turns, and that's just something I really enjoy. So, going forward, what does this list do? What does it want to do? And what's it good at? Well, like I was saying, this list is amazing if it goes first. We have pure strains that are going to be aggressively infiltrated to help, cover my screens not my screens, my scouts. So we have a bunch of pure strains that can get into my opponent's face turn 1 very early on. We also have the bike scouting 9, moving 12, throwing out grenades, throwing out the demo runs and then the grenade itself. Effectively, we're looking at 21 dice that can be rolled, where on a 4-up you take a mortal wound. That is a lot of damage. And not to mention the last cannon, the grenade launcher they have with them. There's a lot of early damage here to where my opponent needs to respect it. Either they know that if they go on the line, they're going to lose a lot of stuff early, or if they don't, they need to be pretty far back. In which case that can just buy me so much board control. Now, looking at the rest of the list, we have 3 squads of neophytes with the characters that will give them lethals. The one without the enhancement was always starting on the board, just because it essentially started my home ruin on my home point and would pop out if something got too close and shoot at it. The other one would be the Primus and Nexos squad, which always started in my back corner effectively, and would just go up at the end of my opponent's first turn, so that if I wasn't able to get the turn 1 go, I still had so much stuff that's just primed and ready and staged early on, as well as a turn 1 deep strike, that if my opponent goes first, it's really looking at them and saying, do you really want to walk at me? Do you really want to then deal with having the crackback of all these pure strains, of all these bikes, and then a neophyte squad just blowing you up? A turn 1 6-inch deep strike is very rough for some armies to deal with, and so it threatened a lot of the armies that I was going into, and I really liked that kind of presence. And then the last one, the Assassination Edict one, was kind of the one that came in turn 3 to just help clean up a unit that I needed, to clean up, right? Overall, I did feel like I was kind of missing on the 4th Neophyte squad. There's a world to where I would take out the 10 Flacos moving forward, and maybe a squad of Pure Strains, and boom, there is my 4th Neophyte squad with a Benefactus. It's rough to say, because the 10-man in some spots was amazing. The damage is very, very consistent. With the twin linked, with the +1 to wound, sometimes only when I really need it, to be honest. It's great. I can't write home enough about it. Plus, it's something to where you can buy back very easily. In melee matchups, I didn't mind, deploying them very aggressively on the board, running them out, trading very early, maybe even trading down for something, and then buying them back with the 4 resurgence points, having them come in on the cult ambush marker, and then running up into another melee unit, flaming them, and then all of these combat knives attacks with sustained hitting on threes. When linked again, it's a very good unit. This list wants to play around my opponent's mistakes. This list says that I'm going to run at you and beat you with the stick. And if you don't appreciate that enough, I'm also going to have a crowbar here that's going to wrench open the game as well. You need to play a very controlled gameplay against this list, in my opinion, or you need to meet its aggression and also run just as aggressively at it. In my personal opinion, I think this is kind of the deep strike list that is advantaged into all other deep strike lists. Going into Shadowmark or into Grey Knights or any other kind of uppy downy army, this felt very advantaged. Just because very early on, it could just take up so much board pressure. All the units are very fast out the gate, and being able to buy a bunch of cheap resources, you aren't sad throwing away a 5-man to just stand in the middle of a field to help, keep up your screens, right? And that actually really did help in, I want to say, 1 or 2 of my matchups at this event. Overall, it's something to where it might not take advantage of some of the matchups that all of the deep strike armies might be able to as effectively, because it might not hit as hard, but going into other ones of its kind, of its ilk, it's amazing. It's phenomenal. But I digress. We've been talking for a while. Let's get into matchups, okay? Round 1 was going into one of the harder matchups that I see GSE making going into nowadays, which is Leagues of Votann. And it's not that Leagues of Votann is necessarily like impossible for us to beat. It's just that Leagues of Votann has a lot of good defensive profiles into us, and if I'm not on final day, I'm a little worried about my consistency into the Hecaton land fortresses. Luckily in this game I had, actually no, not luckily, I did kind of bounce a couple times, but we'll go into it real quick. So we're on Hearthband, which is the Grotmus attachment, giving you all the rerolls. He had Bury, Einhir Champion with the Bastion Shield, Uthor the Destined, a 10-man of Hearthkin Warriors, Carrier, a Sagittar, 2 3s of Brokir Thunderkin, a 10-man of Einhir Hearthguard, a 5-man of Einhir, and 2 5-mans of Einhir Hearthguard. So 20 Terminators in total, which is like, this is why I think the Votann matchup is so cursed for us, because there's so much T6 stuff and the land fortresses and all that, and we kind of got to go and shoot at that and try and take it down. And we might not take it down, we might just bring it down to 1 or 2, and then the Terminators come down and they say, hey, do you have a 20-man of Neophytes? It's dead. It's just gone. It doesn't matter. But to finish out the list, 2 Hecaton land fortresses, 2x3 of Pioneers, and a 10-man of Jaegers, which of course is getting split up into 2 5-mans. Now, this game went all right. I was able to go first and was able to screen out a lot of things. Kept a 10 and a 5-man up of the Terminators, which I think was the correct choice. Just because I feel like those guys need to be reactive of where the Neophytes are. So they need to counter deep strike the Neophytes, if that makes sense. Now, I was able to go first. I kind of deployed my Pure Strands like basically on his line, 9 inches from his deployment zone. One of the squads I didn't even move. The other ones were deployed a little bit back, but with their advances I was getting 6s, and I was able to just effectively keep him on his line. This is on Search and Destroy. This is Search and Destroy Linchpin. So this is, I'm able to just secure 8s all game, because what I'm effectively doing is I have the Reductus Saboteur on my Natural Expanse. I have it screened out with a bunch of little 5-mans everywhere. I'm keeping him off the middle point, and then I'm making sure that his Natural Expanse also, he is in the first turns not able to get to it, because I have effectively touched like both land forts, the Carrier, and a bunch of stuff with bikes and Pure Strains, just holding it there to where they can't get over me. And he's able to start scoring. I believe it's round 4 he gets a 13. Round 2 and round 3 he got 3s, and then that's when he starts to turn the corner and is able to hold a lot more of these points. He's able to get out, because by that time a lot of my stuff has died. Who would have thought that aggressively trading away your resources, you wouldn't have that many resources later on in the game? but that's fine. I had figured that with the lead I'm able to set up, we're going to be fine. Now, it does work out to where he's able to score 5 more points than I thought he was going to be able to. I really thought on 4 I was going to be able to keep him to an 8, which would leave me with a 5-point primary, but it is what it is. Thankfully, through secondaries, we were able to keep the lead up, just stopping him from getting out of his deployment zone. Wow, that suddenly makes the game a lot harder to play, and you're not able to do as many secondaries, right? So we have established a bit of a lead there. Overall, it is still a close game. It's 4 points, which a little tight, a little tense, but with how it was, both land forts after I activated into them lived on 1, which was really unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's how it is sometimes. Now, overall, still a win is a win. A win is a win. And we have to go now on into Blood Angels. This one was a little bit worrying just because, I mean, even from the list name, it is, we're just going to send it on Liberator Assault Group. This is a captain with Jump Pack with Speed of the Primarch, Death Company captain with Jump Pack with the Rage Fueled Warrior who is by himself, Lamarty's a lieutenant with combi weapon, the Sanguinor, 5 intercessors, 2 JPI, 2 JPI, a Blade Veteran squad of a 3-man, a 10-man of Death Company, a 5-man of Death Company, another 5-man of Death Company, 2 Predator Annihilators, 6 Sanguinary Guard, a Scout Squad, and a Scout Squad. He started with the 10-man up, and I want to say also the 5-man up. Everything else was staged pretty aggressively and or on the line, which worked out when I went first. I was able to, I just went full force at him instead. His lieutenant with combi weapon was way too far forward, so actually with bikes I was able to just kill it right out the gate. I got extend and assassination, and extend obviously I'm going to be able to get. With assassination, the way the reactives work is I'm able to react to, I believe we'd gotten it ruled to where I can do the demo run before he does the reactive. So I go up, I do that, I end up doing 3 mortal wounds to the lieutenant with combi weapon, and then both bike squads on the bottom hadn't gone up around the ruin. He moves back to where he's near his blade guard and his rage fueled captain. Both bike squads come up. First one goes, throws their mines, ends up killing him. The second one throws their mines towards the blade guard, and I believe kills one of the blade guard. Then all of their shooting reduces the blade guard down to just 1. He effectively has just now his rage fueled captain and 5 JPI in the center area. I also have 5 pure strains charging some scouts over here, and some Flacos charging some scouts near my natural expanse. I am just going full force. I'm just sprinting at this guy, right? And it ends up working. It ends up working very well. The thing with Blood Angels is that while they are very good on the charge, you just kind of got to treat them like world eaters, and you charge them. By the time he went into his first turn, the Rage Field Captain was down to 1. He had lost of the 5 JPI that heroiced into a combat, because I had charged like 2 squads of bikes, pure strains. I was just wanting to hold everything up. He had lost 1 of them there. He had lost both scout squads. He had lost the blade guard. He had lost his lieutenant with combi weapon. He moves out his sanguinary guard to go deal with all the trash in the middle. And he has Death Company go deal with the 5 pure strains that had charged his scout squad near my natural expansion. Cool, great. It comes to my turn. The neophytes, 2 neophyte squads drop and are able to see the sanguinary guard, and they just obliterate that squad. They take it out. He does rapid ingress Lamarty's squad, which kind of starts to make it a little bit close, because now I have to worry about that. But effectively, once the sanguinary guard's down, I only have the Lamarty squad to realistically worry about my stuff. Everything else, like, it's just a bunch of 5-man jump pack marines, which Flacos can take care of, pure strands can take care of, mortars can take care of over a turn or 2. It just, he has lost his output, right? The Death Company charges into a neophyte squad. Cool, they pick it up. It's fully dead. A 5-man Death Company charges into another squad and reduces it down to nothing. Well, it's like the Primus, the Nexos, the Banner, and like 3 guys, and then 3 more regenerate. They walk onto his natural expansion to keep it off for another point, and then just kind of die because I was able to do the fallback thing to where I wasn't touched on my turn. And yeah, I'm able to out OC him on the point. I'm able to reduce Lamarty's down to just one Death Company guy and Lamarty's himself. And now he just no longer has the output to deal with any of my Neophyte squads. Very easily, I'm able to then just kind of play pickup and take out all the little resources here and there, pick up the Predator Annihilators, and get him tabled pretty quickly. Overall, very nice game, but we're ending at 100-61. So overall, I can't be that mad. Then last game of the day into Mark Meng, a great guy. Little tense, felt like he was a little nervous, but overall, great guy. I loved our game. I had a lot of fun. Going into Mark, we were on Hidden Supplies. Once again, Scorched Earth, I want to say. Let me double check. Yeah, Hidden Supplies, Search and Destroy. This into Champions of Faith Sisters, which it's going to be the 30 Sacrosancts. So, going through Chipro Hospitaller, Junith, Morven, Saint Celestine, 2 Immolators, a Rhino, 30 Sacrosancts, all with the Maces, Dominion Squad, or 2 Dominion Squads, all with Flamers, a Paragon Warsuit Squad, of course, and then 3x5 of Retributors, all with Multi-Meltas. A lot of trash, but overall, a lot of stuff that... Listen, I need to kill these Sacrosancts. I need to. The game is going to be won or lost by whether or not I can kill these girls. And while as problematic as that sounds, it's still something that's very real. So I leave a 10-man of Flacos up because they're going to rapid ingress on turn 2 to whichever Sacrosanct squad is near a point, and they're going to go flame and kill them off that point, right? Then, I need to figure out how to kill the other 2 squads. Well, a real big test comes in, round 1. I end up going first. I scout a bunch of stuff forward, and I'm going to play jail. I even have a little picture we'll show up real quick. If you can tell that there is just an outline of this person's search and destroy deployment with my units, and I'm saying you're not getting out of your DZ turn 1 and hopefully turn 2. But I got marked for death, and what should have probably been like marking for death, like some of the Immolators and the Retributor squads in the back, he decided not to because of the amount of indirect that I do have. There's just a world to where I can, with the Ridge Runners and then the Spotters, take them out. He decided to put his money on the Sacrosancts. So he marks all 3 of his Sacrosanct squads as his mark for death. Bikes go up, they do 3 mortal wounds. Another bike squad goes up, they do 3 mortal wounds. Third bike squad goes up, 2 mortal wounds. After the Feel No Pains and all that, I roll a grenade and I got 6 4-ups, and I want to say 4 go through. And now we're looking at, I think it was just 1 girl in the Hospitaller left before I even start to shoot the bike squads. And we're going in, and we turn 1 before the guy even starts. I don't even need to charge, which thankfully I didn't because it was going to turn into heroic and now my screen's gone. But thankfully, I'm just able to pick up 10 Sacrosancts, basically because of mortal wounds and indirect. The bikes help a lot here. The little chaff shots do a bunch of damage. The crack grenade, I think, is the one that officially picked off the Hospitaller, but everything else just walks up within an inch of the Sacrosancts and says, we're just gonna hold hands. We're not gonna charge you. We're not gonna touch you. We're not gonna do nothing. There's a world where pure strains can go into, like, up at the top. There's a world to where 5 pure strains can go into 10 Sacrosancts, but I think if they'll have the 1 CP, okay, if I'm not threatening really any other charges anywhere else, and I don't give them the heroic, then they go in and they pop the -1 to hit. So now it's 20 attacks on 3s. I lose 6 to 7 attacks. I am then wounding on 4s. So what we're looking at 13, So let's be a little greedy and say 7 go through. Cool. Well, they still have 4 up saves. So 3 go through. Okay, 1 of those is saved by the Feel No Pains. I have killed 2 Sacrosands. They then activate and they kill 5 Pure Strains and are no longer touched. Not only with that, but with Pylons, they can also touch the bikes there that are helping screening them. My screen is gone. They can get onto one of my natural expansions. It's just not something I'm looking to do. It's not a good trade in my personal opinion. So I'm glad they stayed where they are at. Now, that being said, the next turn, he just throws them both at me. He is using them to clear screens with how I have the stuff set up. He's not able to, with his charges, keep behind walls. So he's just out. And I deep strike a bunch of stuff. I don't really realize that Morven in melee can just full on pick up a neophyte squad. So I don't have that as screened as I could have, to where she's able to rapid ingress in. I don't shoot her because I need to kill these Sacrosands. She walks up, makes like a 8-inch charge, which of course she had a 6. So it was like a 2-up into a neophyte squad, and then they just full sweep it. That sucked. In fact, basically after I killed these 30 Sacrosands, a lot of my killing power went really far down, and it was just going off of the lead I had already established. Thankfully, you know, staying in your deployment zone for 2 whole turns kind of makes it hard for you to do secondaries. At the end, of course, he was able to get a bunch of stuff, but for 2.5 turns, basically, he's just not scoring anything, whether it's primary or it's secondary. Now I'm able to establish very early on some good points, but as soon as round 4 hits, I'm only scoring secondary. Ends up becoming a game to where we are 77-60. Overall, pretty good time. I really did enjoy this game. Mark was a fantastic opponent. Once he lightened up a little bit. Learn to take a joke, mister. I'm kidding. No, it was generally like genuinely a very great game. I had a great time with them. Mark kind of just knew like the right stuff to do, if that makes sense. So we would be like, I think I'm gonna do like this play or something like that. And the other person would go, yeah, that's the correct thing to do. Like that is if you don't do this, I'm going to beat the hell out of you, right? So it was, we knew what each other had to do. And we weren't exactly guiding each other to it, but we acknowledged when the other person would do it. It's like, yeah, that's probably the right move. Overall, great time. Really had a lot of fun, Mark. Moving forward, I am having a great time. I'm 3-0. I'm looking at the rest of the field, and it's a tough one. Forrest is there, Celeste is there, Michael Mann is there, Durante's there. Just a lot of fucking killers are at this event, okay? If I'm going to make it 8-0, if I'm going to get out of here undefeated, I'm going to need to lock the hell in, right? We have got a lot of stuff to do. So I'm not exactly like worried yet, okay? I'm not super nervous, but at some point tomorrow, I'm going to have to start like facing people who are in contention to win this, right? And you know, I try and relax. I am in the hotel room with my uncle who wanted to come and see what these events were like and really just, you know, support me and my brother who was also there. This was his first real big major. I had taken him to Mad Alpacalypse, but this was his first like 3-day event. And they were both having a lot of fun. Now, we ended up getting pizza from this little mom and pop place. They had like a family deal thing where it was like 1 large pizza and a bunch of chicken wings and like a salad, right? And I go and I have a slice of this pizza. And I tell you, I pick up this pizza and like a pool of oil, just like as if it's the fucking beach, just a little wave goes down the box. And I'm like, huh, whatever, pizza's pizza. And I have it, and I have like 4 or 5 pieces of chicken and like his greasy fried chicken, but you know, whatever. I'm American, I can take it. And then, fun little factoid for y'all. I certainly do wake up at about 5 in the morning remembering that I have gallbladder issues. I have gallstones, guys. Like, this is a problem I've had before. If you haven't had this, imagine your little body makes a bunch of rocks. Well, okay. Here's how this works. We're going to take a 2-minute explanation, and it's going to be relevant to the story. I know you're thinking, how is this relevant to 40K? Trust me, it's going to be relevant, okay? Shush. Just keep watching. The gallbladder. Think of it as a storage container, okay? Your body needs a type of fluid to help digest stuff in your organs. Okay, and by organs I mean just your, what are the tube ones? Intestines. Yeah, yeah. To help dissolve stuff in your intestines. Okay, once it's gone past the stomach. Now, the gallbladder is basically just a big storage container. Now, sometimes when there's too much stuff in your intestines, the body will squeeze the gallbladder to put out more of the acid, basically, to help go dissolve stuff. But if you have these stones in there, which actually a lot of people do have, it's just sometimes it can squeeze those and nothing happens, right? Because either they're too small or whatever the hell. Maybe they're not even near the exit of the gallbladder. Well, for me, I had a lot of stones, and I have a lot of big stones in my gallbladder. And so when it would squeeze, these stones aren't exactly perfect spheres. It can be very sharp on sometimes, so there's some fleshy bits in you, and it'll squeeze the very sharp thing against the fleshy bits. For hours. For just fucking hours, and it's hell. And I woke up and my body was saying, hey buddy, it's sharp rock time, and was just squeezing that boy, right? Now I've had this before, and it normally fades out around 4 hours. Okay, so I'm like, whatever, I will just tank it. Go to the event, I'm in a lot of pain. The car ride there has been hell because I love my uncle, but his big old truck had no suspension and we felt every bump. And in LA, an earthquake center of the world, man, the roads aren't smooth. So that was a fun experience. Don't know what deity I pissed off, but fuck you. Anyways, I digress. We're going. I still have these gallbladder issues. I get paired up into Nico round 4. I'm going into Thousand Suns, basically Iron Storm, Warforged Cabal, on Purge, while dealing with gallstones. I'm telling you, by the way, worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. We're talking like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It is rough. So we just got to make it work, right? We end up playing it out to go over Nico's list, who, by the way, I'm just going to put this here. I ended up playing against 2 XBZ guys. You kind of always end up playing against 2 Xenos Petting Zoo guys in any event you'll go to that's bigger than like 30 people, because they are legion, they are unending, they are inevitable. Jesus Christ, XBZ is the biggest fucking team I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure like that's got to be their thing, right? Is that they are just the biggest team. I don't know. Doesn't matter. All of them genuinely are still very, very good. But I digress. Moving forward. Nico is running Ahriman, a Zangor Shaman with Perplexing Cloak, another Zangor Shaman with Warp Simon, and a third Zangor Shaman with nothing on it. A squad of 5 rubrics for Ahriman. Triple Destructor, one of which is with the autocannon. The other 2 are with las cannons. This is going to come up very importantly at the end. Squad of Chaos Spawn, a Vindicator, a Forge Fiend, a Mutalist Vortex Beast, and then 3 squads of Sakatar robots, and a 10-mana Zangors. Now, this game was brutal. It is mission N, so it is Purge the Foe, Crucible of Battle. I do end up going first, and I go, there is no way I'm not going to, like, Nico's going to be able to kill something. There are Sekatar right outside my deployment zone. Even if I play, like, super caged in, I either lose so much board presence that I'm never going to recover from that, or he's still going to find the kill, right? So I just need to throw out a bunch of bullshit. Bike Scout up, just as far as they can go. They do a bunch of damage to a bunch of different Sekatar robots. I am able to kill one of the 4-mans. And then I'm able to wound one of the others. As well, a Mining Laser is able to peek a shot at a Forge Fiend, hits, wounds, goes through, drops 7 damage onto a Forge Fiend, so before he even starts, his Forge Fiend is at 5. Bikes are fun and fair, by the way. And yeah, I just push very aggressively because I know that I need to start killing his vehicles. I need to start taking away board presence, getting him off points. I can never let him have hold more, and my way of winning this game is to try and win a hold more while maybe taking away a kill more at one of the rounds, right? I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but my game plan is sprint at him and hope for the fucking best, right? Now, it does go semi well to where he is, well, I say with an asterisk. We both get kill on round 1. And then effectively, every round, Nico gets a 12. Every round, Nico gets a 12, except for the last round where he gets a 4. I go 8, 8, 12, 12. Now, I can talk about a lot of the mission plays. Yes, my secondaries were a little bit better, a little bit not. But the main thing here is that on 4, we don't have much stuff left. It's really down to he's got one Predator Destructor on his natural, another one coming to my natural, the autocannon one coming to my natural. Most of the Secateurs are out. In fact, I had a turn to where I had moved like 3 squats to go handle the Secateurs, and then I had moved a Neophyte squad out. He overwatched it with all of his flamers, reduced it down to just 1 mining laser and 1 Benefactus, and they shot, and everything hit and wounded, and they just killed 3 Secator robots, 3 las cannon shots, just everything. So that was cool. They were going to die anyways because the my mining tool acolytes were nearby, but it was still just, you love to see it, right? Anyways, I digress. One of the big swings was that I had dropped a 5-man to help make sure Ariman's unit was dead. And on Nico's turn, there was a Predator Destructor that was down to 1. And it walks up and it shoots everything at that 5-man. And it kills 3 of them. And right next to them is a shaman that's doing sabotage. And I think the correct play would have been to not go for sabotage at that point. I'm not super sure, but effectively now on my turn, not only is Stuff able to walk up and go kill that Predator, Stuff is able to go then kill the Secateurs in the middle, but that 2-man regenerates. I get the 3, I go up to 5, I walk around, he overwatches that, only kills like 1 of them, and then the shaman I'm able to grenade and then flame and then fully kill. With other indirect and other stuff dropping, I make it to where going into Nico's round 5, I had gotten kill more on round 4. I had killed 4 things, and he'd only killed 3, which was a very big swing. Then we're making it to where my turn 5 was when I kill all the stuff, right? That's when I go kill the shaman, I go finish the destructor, I kill the Secator robots, and I kill the Zangors he has in the back. And I make it to where he only has 1 Predator Destructor, and it's the one on my home point. And I go and I charge it. I had charged it with my Achilles Ridge Runner. I wanted him to have as little. He would only have 1 CP on his turn, and he would either need it for fallback and shoot or to re-roll a secondary. And he ends up having to re-roll a secondary. And he ends up with overwhelming force and secure. And with how the points were, if he's able to get it where he gets kill, overwhelming, and small secure, I believe that's enough points to where we're only at a 7-point difference. He would take it. This is the autocannon Predator Destructor. It's wounded, or it's tagged. It's -1 in some way or another. It's just coming down to dice on if it can kill this Ridge Runner. And it just whiffs. There's no support. There's no rerolls to hit. Everything else is dead and gone. I had taken out all of the shamans. He's not able to look at my Ridge Runner and do anything. And it just whiffs. My guy lived. I think one of the autocannons went through, and it lives on 5. And he's not able to get kill. He's not able to get overwhelming. He's not able to get secure. And that's the game. Suddenly something to where I'm thinking I'm going to be losing by round 3 because I'm not generating that big of a difference, right? I am killing his stuff. It's going down, but it's not going down fast enough. And the Secator are so good. Oh my god, they're so good. I love those little robots. They do a lot more than you think they do. They genuinely do a lot more than you think they do. But it just wasn't enough, unfortunately. We match on primary, and just throughout the game, I was able to get 7 more secondary points than he could. and it was a very close game and probably my favorite game of the week. Well, one of my favorite games of the weekend. I think it was probably second or third. Um, but it was definitely top 5. Here's the thing. I am now still in pain. I have been in pain since 5 in the morning. The round started at 9, it's 12. I've been in the most excruciating pain of my life for 7 hours now. Nico was a gem because he pulls the clock out and I'm like, please, I in the nicest way possible, I promise I will move fast. Please do not try and clock me this round. Because I'm just fucked up right now. He's like, dude, it's not even for that. I'm making sure that I'm gonna be okay on the clock. We're going into lunch, we're gonna be okay. Which we were fine. We ended before lunch even started. Neither of us clocked out. We were good. But I'm still in so much pain. I just I don't even put my models away. I just walk over to the medic station. And I'm like, guys, I need fucking something, right? Because I had taken a bunch of Tylenol beforehand because I thought that would help, and then I realized after I took it, no, I'm thinking of ibuprofen, and I'd taken a bunch of ibuprofen. But the thing is that when you're in this pain, you don't want to eat. So now I'm also on top of this. I'm feeling nauseous because I have an empty stomach and a bunch of meds in me. It's a rough time out here. Now I want to keep going. This run is important to me. I want to keep fucking going. But the thing is, and something that I come to realize over the course of the lunch, talking to the medics, they're taking my vitals. There's nothing you can do for this outside of pain meds. There's nothing you can do for this. There's no way to make it stop or anything like that. You just have to tank it. And that much pain for that long wears on your mental to where just your emotions aren't regulated to say the least. So I'm very emotional at this point. I'm kind of crying because one, because of the pain, and two, because it's important to me to do well at this. I didn't want to start off the season with a loss, right? But I do the smart thing and I leave. Tell them I'm dropping and I go to the hospital. Well, I go to the hotel, I hang out there for a little bit to see if it ends. It's not, and I check into the hospital around a couple hours later. I forget which. It is at this point to where I have 2 losses because I am not there. I had to drop in my round 5, which was very unfortunate because I was going into Glen. Mr. Durante, I very much have been looking forward to and practicing against Hal so that we could have a great game. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend that game, which did suck. And then my round 6, I had already dropped at the time. I was already taken out of the tournament. Now, as you'll see here, hey, look at that. That's a picture of a person in the hospital. I don't know why I decided to take it when I wasn't in the hospital bed. I had just finished an ultrasound. They were putting me in a wheelchair to go wheel me back. But yeah, by about 10 p.m., when they finally get a cocktail of anti-nausea or stuff to help with nausea, pain meds, all that type of stuff, in an IV, they get it in me. I'm feeling much better at that point. Cool, great. I'm still feeling down, but the thing is with gallstones, once the pain goes away, there's no real lingering effect. There's no it doesn't go from a 9 to an 8, and then you're at a 6 for a couple hours, and then a 4. It's either a 0 or a 10 out of 10, right? And once it stopped, I was fine. So, I hit up the head TO, Jason. I just said, hey, can I come back? I hit him with the I lived, bitch. And he said I was crazy, but yes, it can be done. So, we added me back. I came back. There's a part to where I remember talking to Ben and he was like, technically it's a little unfair, for because people could have paired into you and that affects their win path or win rate. But I believe it's not really going to matter for this tournament because it's win path. So regardless, I am 4-2. I have gone 4 wins and then I have lost 2 rounds. even if I were to play into Glenn and whoever else afterwards and lose to them both, it would be the same record, right? The only one that would technically, I think, be a little unfair, and this is like in the most technical term, all right? It's not. It's, listen, no one else is coming back after going to the hospital for a day 3, so we don't have to get into the semantics of it. So I come back, and here's the thing, is that I am 4-2, but my win path is win, 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 loss. The next GSC player after me is the GSC starter for Team USA. I always call him Spathos, and I know that's not his name, but I want to be respectful. The other Gene Silico player was Alex. Cool. Pathopolos. It's such a cool name, but I'm just terrible with anything that's not 3 letters or more. And he is also 4-2, but I believe he was win-win-loss, win-win-loss? He is win-loss-win, loss-win-win. Okay? So he is also 4-2, but he had a slightly worse win path. So all I need to do for day 3 is to secure 2 wins. If I secure 2 wins, there is no way that Alex can get it. Armando's also getting it as well, but he was at the time, I want to say 2-3-1. So there's no way I lose it to him. Nick Gaddis as well, I believe, was also 3-3. And then there was one other GSC player, but they dropped after day 1. So if I lose any of my games, Alex also needs to lose one of his. If I draw any of them, then Alex needs to draw or worse, right? So I'm not gonna worry myself and be like, oh, Alex also needs to lose a game, and then I'm fine losing. No, I'm just gonna win my 2 games. That's what we're gonna do. That's how we're gonna play. We don't play and try and just sneak out a win. Okay, we have the Star Gods chosen, my friend. We are going to just win our next 2 rounds for day. So our round 7 is Casey. Cassie? I always remembered, I always asked, and then she would say one, and I would immediately forget. Then I would just do the California dude, because I was forget. Anyways, Warpbane. This is Grey Knights. On... Hello, everyone. It is the editor Floof popping in for a hot second. My mic did kind of cut out awkwardly while going through the list, so I'm going to just redo it real quick. For the Grey Knights, we have Castellan Crow. We have 2 Brotherhood Librarians, a Grandmaster and Nemesis Dread Knight. Well, 2 Grandmasters and Nemesis Dread Knights. A 5-man of Strikes. 5-man of Interceptors. 2x10 of Purifiers and a 5-man of Purifiers, and then 2 Nemesis Dread Knights. Loadouts on them are Incinerators and Side Cannons for the non-characters, and then Side Cannons and Hammers and the Meltas for the characters. So, yeah. This is Grey Knights on Hammer and Anvil, Take and Hold. It's going to be a little rough, but overall, this is something that I can do very, very well, okay? Because essentially, how it goes, she has no infiltrators, she has no scouts. Cool, great, fine. It is on layout 8. That's an area to where I actually have enough cover, at least on my natural expanse, to where I can hold that pretty well, and then just be annoying with all the other stuff to where I can keep her off of primary. Now, it ends up going to where she goes first, okay? And she gets secure, no man's land, and area denial. She doesn't really know how to play this matchup that well, so she ends up staying behind a little bit. She doesn't push out more than she needs to. Okay, she has like 5 of the Fire and Fade little idiots. Walk out, shoot some Pure Strains, steal, I think kill like 1 of them, and then spread out enough to where they're on 2 points. Her natural expanse in the center point. She gets area denial, she gets secure. Cool. My turn comes up. I roll my objectives. Area denial and secure no man's land. All right. Well, that's cool. The thing is, though, is that in this matchup, what I feel like for deep strike armies versus deep strike armies is that whoever claims the board first is going to be the one in the winning position. Okay. She went first, and I feel like to really make this a negative matchup for GSC, you just shove forward. You can make 3 things have a 3-up armor because of the +1 AP. So I'm going to shove 5 things at you, and you're going to have a real tough time dealing with all of that, right? But she put 1 thing forward, and then a couple things are stayed. So I take my turn, and I just sprinted her. I basically acted as if I got first turn. A bunch of bikes and pure strains go out to screen as best they can from my natural expanse, an inch away from the line. My pure strains get a 6. They walk right in front of a grandmaster. Grandmaster Nemesis Dread Knight, fucking sir. It's a lot of names, man. You know the character. And effectively, what I'm trying to do is I put 3 Flaccos an inch away from the wall inside the natural ruin, touching the point. And then with everything else, I make it screened to where even a 6-inch deep strike can't get near the Flaccos. So I'm from the front of one base from the front of the guys that are on the point to the back of the guys behind them. There is 12 inches or like 12 and a half, so the bases won't fit, right? And I just have a bubble there. Cool. That point is secured. I've also got bikes strung out to her natural expanse. Pure strains are ahead of that, keeping her off of there. And I'm able to I pick up just the 5-man, but then the rest is just, the board is fully screened, right? She takes her turn, isn't able to get onto either of the points that I was on. She shoots down onto the bikes that were on her natural expanse. She wasn't able to get anyone on them, and through the stealth, she actually kind of whiffs. Only dealing like a damage, or bringing the quad down to 1. She then tried to charge onto my natural expanse, but I reminded her that because she is a vehicle, she is not able to go through the wall, or use the 1 inch, because I was an inch away, right? So cool, that was secure, that was fine. And there's enough OC on it to where, it's 3 guys, they're OC2, she's not taking it there. She starts to just kill everything she can. It goes to my turn too. I get the 15. She's only on a 5, and slowly this trend starts to continue to where I'm getting 10s and 15s, and I'm only keeping hers to 5s. She going first just effectively wasn't aggressive enough, and I'm able to leverage it to where over 3 turns, not only am I getting more primary than her, but I'm going to have bottom of turn scoring on 5. She also is put in a difficult decision to where a lot of times I'm like falling back from Nemesis Dread Knights that have like charged a pure strain squad, and on average they don't kill 5 pure strains. It's very weird, I know, to say that, but it's like 5 or 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2, sure, but I have 5-up invulns. A lot of times I'm living with 2 or 3 guys, and I'm falling them back towards her home point, so she's even more screened. And she's on turn 2, she had overwatched when I had done that with 2 pure strains, and the thing is that she didn't really have the rest of her backfield screened, so I was able to drop 10 of Flaccos and a Neophyte squad to see Crow's unit, which now cannot protect itself with an overwatch, and reduced it down to like 2 guys in Crow. And there goes a lot of her output in dealing with my army. Now, she still played very well. She maxed out on secondaries, kept it super close, but it's still going to be a 98 to 70 at the end of the day. Overall, I had a lovely time playing against you, Cassie. But Casey, Mrs. K, it was a great time. I remember how to pronounce things. I'm not an asshole. God, piece of shit. Anyways, moving forward. We now get to round 8. This is a fun one because we are both playing for best in faction right now. It is Michelle Forgione on Salamanders, on just Firestorm Assault, just good old Bernie boys. I actually really do love this list. I have a friend who plays Salamanders all the time, and it's good to see them like actually getting like good competitive success. So Michelle was playing out of his mind. He had Adrax, a lieutenant with Champion of Humanity, a combi lieutenant with Forged in Battle, which I believe was just him trolling. Forget which one that does, but oh yeah, it's while he's leading a unit they do something. That's just, he had the extra point. He's memeing. I love him to death. Vulcan, 5 intercessors. So okay, this list actually was surprising me. So it's 2 impulsors, 2 razorbacks, 6 blade guard vets, which are going to be in a land raider redeemer, company of heroes, which is going to be with Vulcan, 2 Devastator squads, which I believe those were in the Razorbacks, and then 2 Infernus squads, which were in the Impulsors. Redeemer, Scout squad, and then 2x5 of Van Vets. Here's the thing, those Impulsors actually have like 1 billion shots, right? It's like 22 shots, I want to say, plus the 5d6 flamers from the guys inside. It is a shocking amount of firepower. I think, however, the game plan that Michel was trying to go for, I believe is Michel, right? I don't remember if he wanted to Americanize and go Michael. I know he's Italian, right? Italian. I don't know. He brought up Assassin's Creed when we had gotten our flags later on. Spoiler alert! And like, oh my god, he dropped fucking culture on me. It was sick. But anyways, I digress. He plays it to where he goes first. He moves some stuff forward. He gets like either establish or area denial. I guess I can actually pull this up. Yeah, he gets establish and recover. And he essentially puts Vulcan on his natural expanse. And he says, that's Vulcan's special boy. Okay. And I go, cool. I'm never going to touch that. It's taken hold. It's taken hold on tipping point. I'm never going to touch your natural, buddy. Go for it. You got it. I am going to make sure that I have mine secured, and then I'm playing for the middle one, okay? And effectively, it goes to where he puts the 5 Van Vets up, and then he stages a bunch of vehicles behind terrain. I go next, and I get, I want to say, like 2 or 3 6s for my pure strands on their advances, and bikes are just able to get in spots to where they're getting onto the home point, or not the home point, the center point, and charging the Van Vets onto there. They're getting just in front of the Land Raider, and they're able to charge it and keep it where it is. And a lot of stuff is able to just lock down all of his stuff for 1 turn. I don't think Vulcan is ever going to move from his natural expanse. I think it's silly if he does. So I'm not super worried about where Vulcan is. Vulcan's going to sit there, right? He's not going to try and make a play for my home point or the center point. Your best position is leaving the billion OC on your natural expanse. That's -1 to wound, and just saying you're getting 10 primary and let everything else play for everything, right? So I stop everything else from moving up. Because he had played a little bit further back, so his turn 1 was kind of getting all of his vehicles up to either his deployment line, or one of the Razorbacks was able to get just outside of my natural expanse ruin area. Now, I fully touch everything, and how he had set it to where Vulcan and the Land Raider were both able to shoot the bike squad that was on the center, because they saw one of the ones that was up more forward. Vulcan shoots first and spikes and kills all but 2 bikes on it, and nothing else is able to see those 2 bikes at that point. And it's a big swing because now the 2 guys are just sitting there. Everything else is tagged. He's not able to make charges to get onto that point because everything else is too far away. And I just, on my turn, I insane bravery, and I start the game with a 15 on primary, and he's on 10. I've got bottom of turn. It's already going to be dicey. Now, it gets to be... You forget his secondaries on round 4? I forget. But... Oh, wait, no, he said he got 2 bad ones that he wasn't able to score. He goes... He gets his action secondaries. On round 2, he gets overwhelming, and nothing on points is relevant. I haven't put anything on Vulcan's point. On the home, I want to say I actually had left clear. And then he's not able to get to my natural expanse, so he gets nothing for that. He does get defend, however, and it's just this trading war that's starting in the middle. I'm able to kill the Land Raider Redeemer and make it to where he has a 10-inch charge for the Blade Guard to get into my Neophytes on the home point. When he does that, I'm able to heroic with bikes that were behind. He had to walk around the bikes that were essentially screening the Land Raider in case it didn't die. He walks around the bikes. They heroiced in to keep him there, or at least the Blade Guard, so we wouldn't have so many attacks going into the Neophytes. And I had also rapid ingressed 10 Flacos there to effectively deal with the Blade Guard, because they got onto that natural expanse. I'm still able to hold it. The Neophytes fall back, and then with Flamers and Melee, I clean up the unit. And the Impulsors with the Inferno squads do start coming forward, and each time they activate, they effectively pick up a Neophyte squad, which was absolutely terrifying. But thankfully, I'm able to pick up 2 Impulsors. I pick up one of the Inferno squads very early on, and it's just him not deploying on the line, I think, was probably the mistake here. I think if he realized that the firepower he had was something that he could use to play for his advantage, my win path is jailing him, right? Is just keeping him so far back that he can't come forward and play the game ever. And the thing with that is that by knowing that, you need to deploy on the line. You need to kind of go, all of my transports are going to be up. The ones that are going to be seen are going to be the ones I don't care about that have like the Devastators in them, sure. But Redeemer and both Impulsors are going to be up. That way, if I go turn 1, that shit's on the middle point. And after his first turn, they were behind the little crates that's near the home point, but not on them. And I'm still able to play jail. I'm still able to keep you up for 2 turns and protect my natural expanse and play for the center. And I think if it was where he had played a little bit more aggressively, this game is a bit closer. However, end of the day, I'm able to take it with getting 15, 10, 15, 15 for primary, keeping him to just 40 on primary. There was never a point I wanted to play for Vulcan's objective. He got it. Cool, great. You get 40 on the primary. Fantastic. And then because he's kept up so much, because I'm touching him everywhere, because I am touching his army everywhere, he's not really able to play for secondaries that well. I'm able to score 33 on secondaries. He's only scoring 17. And at the end of the day, we go 93 to 67. Overall, this was a fantastic game. Just to end out the day, even though I had just come from the hospital, I did buy him a beer because I was like, you know what? It's the last round. Let's relax. And then when he's halfway through that beer, he's like, this is the first beer I've drank ever. And I'm really feeling it. And I was like, good Lord, why did you let me buy you that? Why? Like, we're in round 3, so like, doesn't super matter. It's not going to pack a whole lot. But I was like, why? What? No. Thankfully, I'm also a little bit of lightweight, so it was kind of as both. But oh my God, he was stressing me out. And yeah, so I end the tournament 6-2. I am now in all technicalities, even though I am 6-2. Every game I played, I won. Floof Cox, did not lose a game that I played at Cali Cup. Hello. Would I have won this event? I don't know. I don't think I have an answer into Celeste. I think I have an answer into Ben. I think that there's a good chance I win my game into Glenn. And I would have been very interested in playing Michael. Outside of that, oh, also Forrest. I think Forrest was out of the running pretty. Yeah, because Forrest had played into Celeste. Celeste, by the way, was just fucking taking names out there. Good Lord. She is a fucking killer. Looking at just the overall placings, I think I can do well into Michael's Space Wolves. I think it's going to be close into Celeste. The Possess spam for CSM is also going to be rough for me, but it's something that's very doable. Ben's list I can handle. Eldar I clean up. Sisters I clean up. Demons I'm fine with. Necrons is annoying but doable. Yeah, I genuinely think that there is a world to where if I was able to play out all 8 of my rounds, I could have taken it. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. It didn't happen. So I don't gotta worry about it. But if you want to know what does matter, I get that flag. And I'm pretty sure, by the way, I realized this right before I hit record. That's the Tyrannid flag. That's the Norn crown. They gave me the Tyranid one. I'm pretty sure whoever got best in faction for Tyranids, let me look that up. Joel Wilson? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we gotta switch flags, brother. It doesn't super matter. We could just, by saying that this is the GSC one, hey, look, it's the GSC one. But I'm almost positive that it's GSC that's single and Tyranids that are the double. Oh well. Regardless, yeah. I get my flag. I get the new flag. And I will say one thing. Oh. One fan of the channel, Mr. Armando, who ended up, let me give a quick shout out to Armando. He ended up 4-3-1. He gave GSC dice. These boys are super cool, but the thing is, so he put these up because he had seen that in my mental health video, I had mentioned that I'm going to be putting up the GSC flag as a bounty at Cali Cup. And so he wanted to add to it. So he put these as well. Whoever got best in faction was going to get these dice. I would love these dice, and I would love to play with these dice, but you sick bastard, the symbol is on the 1. So there is a 6, and then the symbol. And all of my other dice are the symbols of the 6s. So I won't be using these. However, Armando, they are a trophy. Are you chilling? Where's that? Right in there. Right in the cup of my trophy from Mad Alpacalypse. Once again, thank you so much, my friend, for like contributing that. It was just fun. I didn't put out like a big super official announcement. I did tell all the other GSC players there what they were playing for. And it was just a fun little extra time. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun. We got to meet so many new people. My uncle got to just experience Warhammer, and now he wants to play. He's thinking of either Space Wolves, Drukhari, or Emperor's Children. He's an old metalhead, like, you know, think guy who was rocking D&D during the Satanic Panic. That's the metalhead you're looking at. That's the guy who raised me, and I love him to death. And it's kind of fitting that those are the 3 armies he wants to play. So, got best in faction. We technically went undefeated at Cali Cup, and I had a great weekend. Genuinely, this is just gonna be a thing to the community. A lot of you reached out to not only me, but my team and just anyone who might know anything about my well-being on day 2 after I had dropped. A lot of people just checking sure that I was okay. A lot of people were hearing that my appendix burst and that I had to be rushed to the hospital or anything like that. I was in a lot of pain. I don't like to blow up like and extremify things that I go through. In fact, I like to handle them on my own. Everything else I like to be dramatic about, but when it comes to my shit, I do like to keep it kind of private. But for those that have had that pain, you know that is a very extreme pain, and it just wears on you because of how long it lasts. And it's just, there's no break, there's no relief, can't do anything. The only times I have ever felt any type of relief during that pain is I will go take a hot shower, just because the stimulation of everywhere else kind of overstimulates you in a way to where like you can kind of think about something else. But that's all I was in, was just pain. I wasn't debilitated. I wasn't losing anything. I wasn't like freaking out. No permanent damage has been done to me. I will say, as soon as I got up, I did go into surgery. One of the things they recommended when I was at the hospital down in LA was that I should get the surgery then. My gallbladder was inflamed. The stones were about 2 centimeters in size. It was like 1.92 centimeters, I want to say. And they kind of adamantly were recommending the surgery, but there was 2 things that made me not want to do it. 1, I had to finish the fucking run, and 2, the actual answer is that we drove. We drove down, and it would have been through one of the biggest storms of the year, a 10-hour drive. I didn't want to do that with surgery scars. I am sitting at my house right now, and it's painful enough. They gave me like oxycodone or whatever the fuck. I've only taken it like once or twice. I'm pretty fine when it comes to pain. Um, but yeah, I immediately went into the ER with the paperwork that they had given me for my ultrasound and said, "Hello, I have a bomb in my chest. Can you please take it out?" And they said, "Sure, you want to lose a knife fight with a robot?" And now I have 4 scars on my stomach and 1 less gallbladder. So I'm doing fine. About 3 hours after the surgery, I was already getting discharged because within 20 minutes of me waking up, I was back in my room and I was walking around. I was eating just about anything they could give me, and I was able to keep down a turkey sandwich, and the pain was minimal. And so they said, "Okay, you good to go." I'm not obviously going to show the scars. They're all glued up still. There's nothing like really bloody or anything like that because of the surgery glue. But at the same time, I don't want YouTube to be weird about that. Also, I shouldn't just be showing scars and open wounds on my channel. That's not the channel for this to be shown. But yeah. I want the golden ticket, but I can't say I'm disappointed. I really can't. I had a lot of fun this weekend. The venue was great. Green Banner just like constantly throws some of the best events that you will partake in. So obviously, like in terms of majors, it's like Green Banner, FLG, and GW, right? And I think that all 3 of them have good aspects about them. I think all 3 of them do well in throwing big events. I think Green Banner takes the cake right now. I think the amount of work they put into it, I think the amount of stuff they do for the community, how they try and just do different stuff every event, that just to see if it works or if it doesn't, and then they keep what works and then move along with the stuff that doesn't. I think that Green Banner events, if you haven't gone to one of their events yet, I think you are missing out. And I absolutely would recommend them. Picker, Steven, Jason, Anthony, all of them are just amazing people. They're so nice. They're so friendly. When they saw that I was at the medics tent or table or wherever the hell, they were coming up to me. They were making sure I was okay. During the storm, we weren't able to walk back to our cars. We had to go through shuttles, and like the wait for the shuttle when I had dropped and was going to go to the hospital was like 15, and I wasn't going to go straight to the hospital. I went to my hotel first to see if I could wait it out. But like, they're like, "Yeah, it'll be like 15 minutes. And then like Kicker sees me outside waiting in like the rain. And he just like, not raises hell, but he's like, "Hey, let's get this kid fucking something," right? Like, he's in extreme pain. And you know, they take care of their people. They take care of the people going to the events, and they treat you with respect. And I'm not saying that the other events don't. I'm not saying that no one does or anything like that. But I'm saying it's the most felt when I'm at Green Banner. And I have the utmost respect for their whole fucking team, genuinely. So I'll stop rambling about that. Overall, Host of Possession still feels great. For those that say that Host is dead, you're dumb and silly, and I think you're a stinky face. And I would push you around on the recess ground table. Why would I want to go table? Why did I think table? Anyways, your applesauce is weak. So I still think it is a board control style gameplay, but I think now you need to be much more aggressive with your plays in terms of everything except the neophytes. I think you be aggressive with everything in order to protect the neophytes, and you play them a bit more cagey, if that makes sense. You really need to string them out more. The Primus and the Nexos, I'm normally just having the 4 heavy guns shoot, and then they're strung out a little bit, and making it to where, like, even if they got max movement, they're getting 10s and 11-inch charges. And if they happen to get any closer, well, I have the reactive move to go even further back. So it's still very good. Triple bikes is awesome. I think 3x5 of pure chains, you can go down to 2, to be honest. I think that would be more than fine. And then you can either bring in some acolytes. If you wanted to bring in 2 10s, that might be too much. But I could see you bringing in like a 5 of metas or something like that. I don't know. I think there's still room to play around with it. I think there's a lot going on, and I'm excited to get back to playing host. I am going to do a couple other things for the next couple events, whether that's just experimenting with other GSC detachments or going with like AdMech or my new Tyranids that I have. I don't know. I'm definitely going to have a little bit more fun this season in terms of playing around with what I bring instead of just trying to mug every tournament with host, but who knows. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. I am okay. I'm doing fine. I'm going to spend the next week and a half here at my house playing fucking Arc Raiders and Final Fantasy Tactics. The remake is amazing, by the way. And spending time with Hobie. So don't worry about me. I am more than okay. And then once again, thank you to everyone at Green Banner Events for throwing the Cali Cup. Everyone that I saw at Cali Cup and got to hang out with and just talk and, you know, I just love the 40K community. It's genuinely one of the nicest ones. I know there's a lot of shit that people can give it for certain things here and there, but when you just get to experience just being around people and hanging out with people that, you know, there are people to where my only interaction with them was 3 hours at an event 2-3 months ago. And then you see him again and it's like you're just homies. You're like, hey dude, it's so good to see you. Like it's like a special treat to see that friend again, if that makes sense. And I just, yeah, shout out to people like Cameron, who just makes some of the most beautiful models you'll ever see. Shout out to Natalie, who is my round 6 at Challengers Cup, but she was the TO for this one. She is one of the nicest women you'll ever fucking meet. Genuinely just an absolute delight. Killian, one of my favorite players to ever go against. I love you, Chef. You're beautiful. Just I could go on forever. Seeing Forrest again is always fantastic. Just any of the XPZ guys, genuinely XPZ. Even though there are 500 of you, so far, 500 of you have been amazing. So I appreciate all of you. I am rambling for way too long. If you like what I do, do I have a Patreon yet? No, not yet. If you like what I do, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you did at Cali Cup if you were there. Tell me what your most recent event is or what your goals are. How about this? If you want to go in the comments, go ahead and tell me what your goals are for this ITC season. For the ITC season of 2026, what do you want to accomplish and what do you want to do? And I'm looking forward to seeing it. So, talk to you all in the next video. Thank you so much. Roll that outro. Bye!